Hello everyone. So in this video, we will see how to deploy AWS Lambda resources using Terraform. So Terraform allows infrastructure to be expressed as a code in a language called HCL, which is nothing but HashiCorp configuration language. So we will straight away go into the code on how to deploy the Lambda resource. First, we need to create a Lambda resource, and then we will see how to provision those Lambda resources using Terraform. So here I have a profile generator sample code for our Lambda. What it does is it uses a faker dependency to generate fake profiles like first name, last name, phone number and vehicle type. So if you see the code, Lambda code, it's just a index.js file, and we have exported the handler. So our handler code is index.js, and if you see this package JSON, we have the faker dependency. So now what we will do is we will write a Terraform script in HCL, that is HashiCorp language. We will use the AWS provider. So let us create a main file, main.tf file, which is a Terraform file. And if you go to this resource, right, if you go to Terraform registry, let us go to Terraform registry. Here if you see, basically it provides two things. One is provider and module. So for us, right, we need to go to provider and select AWS. So if you select AWS, right, we will get to know what all provider is there. So for provider, right, we need to copy this code. So let us copy this. So in main.tf file, Terraform required providers, this is AWS. So it says that the provider is AWS, and we also mention the source and version of that provider. So what it will do is when we initiate the Terraform script, it will initiate and install all the Terraform required providers. For example, here it downloads HashiCorp AWS. So now we have to select the provider. We have to configure your region and the profile where we want to deploy. So let us define a region. So instead of defining the region directly here, what we can do is we can keep the variable, and then what we can do is in variable we can keep the values of those region and also profile. Next is the profile one, which we set var.aws profile, and then we have the shared credential file. So next is we can provide some default tags. For example, tags, maybe those tags can also be defined in a variable. So now this is the main Terraform provider. So if you see, we have this AWS provider and we are setting the region, profile and credentials. So my credentials will be stored in my local. So now what we need to do is to get the value of this region and profile and shared credential, what we need to do is we need to create one more Terraform file, which we can name as variable.md. Sorry, not md, variable.tf. Okay, once we create a variable.tf, what we have to do is what all fields are required, which has been defined in main, right? Here we will define all those things. So there is, we will give a default as ap south one. This is where I want to deploy my lambda functions. And then what we need to do is we need to go to variable and then select AWS profile, and here the type is string. I can mention the type, and then the default value of this will be Rahul admin. That is my AWS profile which I want to use. Now we need a shared credential file. So For that I need to provide the location where that shared file, shared credential file is present. So by default it will be on Mac OS, it will be presented in .aws/credentials. So if you're looking for Windows, it will be in C and user. So there you will find the credential in .aws, you will find the credential file. Then we also need a variable tags variable, which will be of a type which has map of strings. There will be multiple values. So for example, by default, let us provide the some of the tags, like application tag. We can make it as learning tutor, something like similar thing. You can put anything in application. Then in environment, we mention the environment. Suppose we are mentioning a test here. What it does is it will create a tag with the learning tutor as application and the test as an environment. So now we have this main, we know we have set up the AWS provider. Now what we need to do is we need to add the modules. So for us, we are looking for Lambda module. So what we can do is, again you can go to Terraform registry and browse the module. In module side, right, you need to select the AWS, and then if I want to create a Lambda, we need to search for a Lambda. There are so many like VPC, security group. All modules are self-contained packages. So suppose if I say search for Lambda, right, so Terraform module, so we will find this Lambda module. We need to find the Lambda module. So let us search it directly. So Lambda module AWS Terraform. This will take us to modules. So if you see, this is the module. So basically what this says is it contains all the inputs and outputs, what all things are expected. All those things are present in this documentation. You can go through this documentation. For us, let us create a two files, one file which is a Lambda file. Let us create a lambda.tf. So in lambda.tf, right, we are basically creating a module. We can name it anything. Here I am naming it as profile generator Lambda. So for that, right, the source is this is the source. So here if you see, right, they will provide an instruction where they mention the source here. Okay, so let us copy this. So the source is Terraform AWS module Lambda AWS. So we just copy it and paste it. So this is the source. Now we need to have a function name. So function name, we can call it as profile generator function. Now we can provide a description on what it will do. So what it will do is it will create a fake profile using faker library. Okay, once we have this, we have to mention the handler part, handler which is used for here. For us it will be in index file. So we need to create an index dot. If you go to index, the handler exported is this export handler. So index dot handler will be our handler, and we can also provide the runtime, which is basically a runtime for us will be Node.js. So Node.js we are using 14.x. So that is the Node.js, and now we need to mention where our Lambda code is present. So for that, what it does is we need to get the current path of the module. So by using path.module, we will get the current location. So we are at here, we need to go to resources. So if you go to resources, then in resources we can in resources we have a lambda code, so we can give this resource as the path. Then we can optionally give the tags. For example, here I am giving a name as profile generator lambda. Okay, once we are done, right, all the things are in place. So this is profile generator. So we have lambda code and main.js. We need to create lambda code inside this book, inside this, and also the variable inside this profile generator. So now you see, so there it is. So we have resource node.js where our lambda code is there, and we have 3 Terraform files. What we need to do is we need to go to our Terraform sample. So this is the profile generator. Now what we need to do is first we need to initialize the Terraform. What it basically does is it will download all the providers and modules used in the configuration. So the command is terraform init. So it's a terraform init. So once we do terraform init, what it does is it downloads all the dependencies which are given in that main.tf file, and once it is created, we need to check for a plan. So before that we will wait for it to complete. Okay, now it has completed. Now we need to give a terraform plan so that to match, so that we can verify now whatever resources we are creating, is it expected one or we have to change something. So for that we need to give a terraform plan, and this out what it says is we want all the plan to be put in this file. So if you see here, what it says is by this terraform script it adds 7 resources into AWS. So if you see what all things it will add AWS IMS policy document, and it will add AWS CloudWatch log group, and IAM policy, and IAM policy attachment, and IAM role lambda. Those are automatically created. And if you see the lambda function, this is the lambda function which we have given. It's function generator, function name is profile generator, and handler is index.handler. So once we are happy with this action, right, what we need to do is we need to apply those scripts so that the real resources will be deployed. So for that we use terraform apply plan out. So we have to wait, it will be deploying into AWS. So before that, let's open AWS console here. Let us sign into console. So this is still creating. So now let's go to lambda function. Okay, it's the script is completed. It says resources have been added. So if you go to lambda, and there is a one function which we have deployed using the Terraform script. If you see, this is the function name. So this is the description we gave, and this is the node.js file. So if you go to profile generator, what it does is, let us see the code. So code is there, but now if you click on JSON, suppose what is our code, we do not need any event, so we just return a response from figure. So let's hit the test button. We do not need any JSON, empty JSON is also fine. So let us hit with the empty JSON. Let us create it and then click on test. So what this basically says is it does not find index.handler as it is undefined or not exported. So this looks like it doesn't find index.handler. Why is that? Because we have this in index.js within the node.js. So what it means is it is not exported, so it is unaccessible. So what we have to do is we have to change some code now. So what it does is, here I will show how you can modify it. So now we have this lambda function, we have this main file, we have this variable file, and now what we need to do is we have this resource. So what it does is, first we need to do is we need to install the dependency there. So if you go to resources folder, now cd node.js folder, now what we need to do is npm install. So let us install the dependencies. So it will install the faker dependency. And also if you see in the lambda code, what we have mentioned, source path is resources, but actual path is this node.js, right? This is where we have the actual lambda code. So these are the changes which we have done. Now what we need to do is, again we need to just give terraform init again. If we run terraform init again, it will initiate. And now what we can do is, again we can do the plan out. So what it does is, if you see, we have this TF state where already the state has been stored. That means what all AWS resources has been provisioned. Now the next time what it does is it will only refresh those which are needed. So function will be updated in place. So it says that 2 to add, 1 to change, and 2 to destroy, because it needs to destroy the archive file. So now if you see, if you apply this, let us apply now terraform apply plan out. What it will do is it will add all the code into AWS console. Let us see there. So now if you refresh, it says completed. So now if you go to this lambda function, here you see the code is here, index.js. This is the handler. Now what we need to, again we hit test now. So now with this test, what it says is, it says undefined or not exported. So what this means is, within the node.js we have this, but what we need to do is we need to come out of that zip. So let us see. Let us move this index to resource. Now in resource we will also move these 3. Let's move it to resources folder. Now let's delete this node.js one. So now we have this resource. So now with that, what we have to do is, we have to remove this node.js dependency and then save it. Next time again we do Terraform plan out. So with this, right, what we are seeing is how easy it is. If anything changes, then how easily we can modify the code. That is the thing which we are seeing it now. So it's easy to change the things and then deploy it, and it is easily deployed using these 3 commands. So now let's see it. I says it has added. Now if you see profile generator and a code. Now let us see now. So this is the index.vehicle.enter. Now if you click test, right, so what it says is we get this profile first name Devdutt, last name. Suppose we hit another test, so we get a different name. This is how we deploy all the lambdas and whatever other AWS services are there, we can deploy it using Terraform. We just need to write a modules and use the Terraform modules which are already created for each service. We just need to go to this documentation and find out what all information are there, what are the inputs and what are the outputs. Those things you need to check. So that is it. So in this, what we have seen is we have seen how to create a lambda function using the Terraform script. Thank you.